On the endless sea, two fishing boats are floating alone on the water. On the boats live an old man in 60s and a young girl in bloom. The two depended on each other like this. During the day, the old man rented one of the fishing boats to tourists for fishing. Use this to make a living. When night falls, the old man returns to the cabin to help the girl bat he. Then he sat on the bow and used the bow as a musical instrument to pull up a sad little tune. The song ended. The old man returned to the cabin and the girl had already fallen asleep. He took out the ruler and began to measure the height of the girl. After covering her with a quilt, the old man wrote off today's date on the calendar. 2 months later, the girl will become the old man's wife. This day is also her birthday. She seems to be afraid of the girl's sudden disappearance. The old man takes her hand to sleep every night, as if guarding some rare treasure. 10 years ago, the young girl just turned 6 years old. She was separated from her family by the elderly and brought back to the boat to raise her. Because of this, the girl is so ignorant of the world. She has only the elderly to accompany her since she is sensible. Whenever a restless tourist moves her hands and feet to the girl, she didn't react at all. Because in the girl's world, there is no awareness of the difference between men and women. When the old people notice the irregularities of the tourists, they will run to the deck angrily. Take out bows and arrows to threaten them. Tourists will probably be restrained when they see the old man so much. Sometimes when an old man is in a bad mood, he will drive away all the tourists to make himself see. And for a while, in addition to fishing here, tourists will also find old people to tell their fortunes. They come here admiringly when they hear that the old people are very accurate. But the old man's way of fortune telling was very special. He let the girl sit on a rope swinging and then shoot 3 arrows at the Buddha statue behind the girl with a bow and arrow, and then girl would pull them out one by one and use a voice that no one can hear to the old man. Whisper. Then the old man communicated to those who want to tell. In addition to fishing for a living, the elderly will also come ashore to buy supplies every 3 to 5. But he wouldn't take the girl, he just left breakfast for the girl to stay on the boat honestly. Under the influence of the elderly, the girl would sit on the boat and play the violin as he did. The girl's daily entertainment is walking on the deck. Or she can go on a swing without a playmate. The only scenery in front of her is the blue sky and the sea. When the old man returns with a full load, the girl will quickly run over to help move the supplies to the boat. At this moment, a wedding shoe belonging to the bride fell on the deck. This is what the old man repaired for the girl. Before I measured her body, I was also preparing for the wedding 2 months later. After returning to the cabin, the old man locked the wedding dress in the cabinet and carefully placed the cabinet key in a safe place. Lest the girl find out. Since the days on the boat are very boring, any little thing can attract the girl's attention. Seeing the camera in the hands of the tourists, she immediately ran over to sit with the tourists. Take a close look at this new thing. Visitors who come here often know that the girl is very innocent, so take advantage of the opportunity to take her to play with her. Then the old man will show up in time to stop these people. Then they brought the girl back to the cabin, but these tourists are as annoying as flies. Relying on their strength, they even tied up the old man and then started walking towards the girl's room. Fortunately, the girl is very clever. She relies on her familiarity with fishing boats. Started playing hide and seek with tourists. After getting out of danger, the girl ran into the sea bin and took down her bow and arrow. Then walked to the deck and launched a counterattack. The arrow shot one of the tourists in the The 2 unscrupulous tourists finally realized the danger. Immediately ran away without looking back. From then on, the girl experienced the joy of resisting. For the first time, a new face came on board the next day. This boy is young and handsome, and a girl has never seen such a gentleman. Immediately aroused her interest. Boys are also attracted by the innocence of girls. He puts his Walkman on the girl. The two were intimate for a while, but the old man hiding in the dark was very angry when he saw it. He strode to the deck and tore off the earphones from the girl's head and took her back to the cabin. At night, the boy felt so stuffy and couldn't sleep. So I wandered around on the boat, but I accidentally saw the old man bathing the girl. But the gear L do not reject such close contact. He was shocked to learn about the relationship between the two after asking his father. The girl L I've in the Garden of Eden made by the old for 10 years. This created her innocence and made her quite ignorant. Seeing the special way of fortune telling by old people and girls rear, the boy couldn't stand it anymore. He asked the old man why the girl was imprisoned on the boat. The old man also bluntly stated that the adoption of a girl was to marry her. The boy couldn't believe his ears, but he couldn't help but sympathize with the girl silently. Before the boy left, he gave his Walkman to the girl, probably trying to comfort this poor girl. But the old man was very impatient about it. He snatched the Walkman roughly and fell to the ground severely. But the girl changed because of this. She began to resist the old man to bathe herself. When it's time to go to bed, she didn't want the old man to hold her hand. The girl found the key on the cabinet while the old man was out. She put on her dress and wedding shoes and sat on the deck listening to the Walkman with only headphones. I was immersed in my own world. When the old man came back, he brought a necklace to the girl. The girl hated the touch. She tore the necklace and threw it on the ground. Not only that, the girl walked out of the cabin. Deliberately staying close to the tourists, the old man rushed out and carried the girl into the sea. Then he drove the tourists away and saw the girl rebelling against herself. The old man made up his mind to advance the plan. He made a few more marks on the calendar while girl was sleeping. But I didn't expect my every move to be seen in the eyes of the doomed girl. That day the boy did the fishing boat again. The girl showed a rare smile on his face and saw the two close together to take pictures. The old man raised the arrow again to warn the girl was dissatisfied with being disturbed by the old man and then picked up the arrow and broke it. Then he threw it in front of the old man like a demonstration. That night the old man was no longer satisfied with secretly marking. I simply tore off the entire calendar, and ignored the girl's resistance when I slept. I held her hand tightly. The girl naturally wouldn't sit and wait for death. She sneaked into the boy's bed while the old man was asleep. The girl looked at the boy's face while he was asleep, and left behind all the unhappiness during the day. The old man was very angry when he noticed the girl's unusual behavior. He woke the boy up overnight and planned to drive him out. But the boy was very unconvinced. He rebuked the old man for being too selfish and said that he would definitely help the girl find her family. The boy's words completely angered the old man. He hurriedly drove the remaining tourists away, then returned to the cabin and changed the upper and lower bunks to double beds. He also tore up the entire calendar and planned to marry the girl immediately. The boy came back this time with a missing person notice. It turns out that the girl's parents have been searching for her for the past 10 years. But the old man didn't care. He just wanted the girl to stay. In order to achieve his goal, the old man polished the arrow very sharply, and wanted to solve this big problem all at once. Just when he was about to do it, the girl stood in front of the boy and the old man gave up. The next day the boy proposed a solution. It's better to hand the decision to the sky and let the old man calculate whether the girl should stay on the boat. The old man has no objection because he also wants to know the final outcome. The old man hesitated when he pointed the arrow at the Buddha statue again. He dared not start for a long time. After struggling, the old man accepted his destiny. He threw the dress out of the cabinet and planned to let the girl go at dawn. But the old man lost the meaning of living when the girl left. He tied a rope on the girl's yacht. The other end is tied to my neck, and the boat can't move halfway through. The girl noticed the old man's intentions. She hurriedly cut the rope and took the boy back home. Save the dying old man. The girl who accompanied the old man for so many years has regarded the old man as a relative. Even with a lot of disgust before, she couldn't just watch the old man commit suicide. The boy saw the girl holding the old man and crying bitterly. He couldn't bear it. He picked up the old man's dress thrown away and prepared to let the girl and the old man marry. The wedding ceremony was held on the yacht. The scene seemed absurd but not meaningful. The boy stood aside and watched silently. When he saw the old man and the girl go to another boat, he untied the rope on the hen's feet but slapped the head of another rooster, as if to vent his dissatisfaction with the old man. The old man sits on the bow and pulls the bow. The girl slowly falls asleep to the sound of music. When the song ends, the old man takes out a bow and arrow and shoots towards the sky, turning his head and taking a deep look at the girl's sleeping face. So she jumped into the sea. The girl woke up and left here with the boy. On the way away, The girl watched the fishing boats sink slowly,